Good morning, students. Myself is Mini Joseph. As you know about me, that last year I was teaching you business economics. Hope you and your family members are fine at home. Not to be panic. Everything will be all right. Be positive and happy in life. Look, my students, every year our college reopens in the month of June, maybe on 6th or 7th. But this year, due to unexpected consequences of COVID-19, college could not reopen in the month of June. So in order to complete syllabus on time, we have started online teaching. Today is my first day of online teaching to you. Online lectures will be available to you from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. One important thing you have to note down that I won't teach you the same lessons again and again. So you have to write down all the points, syllabus and question paper model that I am giving you today and study sincerely and seriously. All the best. Now, my dear students, let us begin with the syllabus of Sem 5 Business Economics. There are 4 modules totally. The first module is module 1, that is macroeconomic overview of India. In that, the following are the subtopics. First one is the overview of New Economic Policy 1991. The role of social infrastructure with reference to education, health and family welfare. The second subtopic is Sustainable Development Goals and Policy Measures such as Make in India, Invest in India and skill development and training programs. The third subtopic is Foreign Investment Policy Measures in India, such as Foreign Investment Promotion Board, FDI, MNCs, and their role. MNC means multinational companies. Now, come to the module 2. That is about agriculture during post-reform period. The first subtopic is National Agricultural Policy 2000 and it includes its objectives, features and its implications. Implications means importance. Now the second subtopic is Agricultural Pricing and Agricultural Finance. Third subtopic is Agricultural Marketing Development and it includes agricultural market infrastructure, market information, marketing training, enabling environments and recent developments. Now we come to the module 3, that is totally about the industry and the service sector during the post-reform period. It includes the subtopics. The first one, policy measures, and it includes Competition Act 2003, disinvestment policy, micro, small and medium enterprises, or we can say MSME sector since 2007. The second subtopic is industrial pollution in India. The meaning of industrial pollution and its types, its effects and control. Now the third subtopic is service sector. Service sector play an important role. Its recent trends means changes, its role and growth in healthcare and tourism industry. Among the service sector, tourism play an important role. It contributes a major share towards national income. So all these we are studying under module 3. Now we come to unit 4, that is banking and financial market. In that, the first subtopic is banking sector. Its recent trends, issues and challenges in banking and insurance industry. Second subtopic is money market, its structure, limitations and reforms. Third subtopic is capital market, structure, growth and reforms. So these are the 4 modules that we are going to study in SEM 5, and these 4 modules are equally important to you. Now we come to the question paper pattern. As you know, the maximum marks is 100, duration is 3 hours, and the important point to be noted that first point, there will be 6 questions in all. Second, all the questions are compulsory and will have internal choice. Question number 1, objective questions. This objective question is divided into 2. That is A and B. Now A, select the most appropriate answer from the options given below. So 12 questions may be given to you and you have to write any 10 and it carries 10 marks. Now B, state whether the following statements are true or false. Again 12 questions may be given to you and you have to write any 10 out of 12 and 10 marks. Now we come to the question number 2. Answer any 2 of the following out of 3 questions. It includes A, B and C. Out of this A, B and C, you have to write any 2. And it comes from module 1 and it carries 15 marks. Now we come to question number 3. Answer any 2 of the following out of 3 questions. Marks 15 marks. And questions are A, B and C. And it comes from the module 2. Now question number 4. Answer any 2 of the following out of 3 questions, same model. Question number A, B, C. Out of this you have to write any 2 and it totally comes from module 3 and it carries 15 marks. Now question number 5, the same. Answer any 2 of the following out of 3 questions, marks 15 and the questions A, B and C and it comes from module 4. Now the last one is question number 6. Write short notes on any 4 from the following. First question comes from module 1, second comes from module 2, third question comes from module 3, fourth question will come from module 4, fifth question comes from any of the 4 module and sixth also come from any of the 4 module. And you have to write only 4 out of 6 and each question carries 5 marks and the total marks 20 marks. Now the overall the marks 100 marks. Now we come to the first module, macroeconomic overview of India. In that, we are going to study the first lesson, New Economic Policy 1991. Look, my students, soon after the independence period, our Indian economy was suffering so many problems because India has given more importance to the public sector, and the public sector was inefficient because it was using old methods of production. As a result, our economic growth rate has reduced to 4% per annum. So, in order to remove this, the late Prime Minister, in order to remove all these drawbacks, the late Prime Minister Narasimha Rao has introduced new economic policy in the year 1991. Now, we are going to study what is the need for new economic policy 1991. First one is fiscal deficit. The first point why we need it is to remove deficit from the budget. Deficit means, as we studied already, what is deficit? Deficit means revenue is less than expenditure. Expenditure is going on increasing. So when there is deficit in the budget, then the economic growth rate will not take place. Therefore, the first need of the new economic policy was to reduce deficit. Second need was to control inflation. As we studied already in SYBCom, what is inflation? Inflation is a state of price level is rising and value of money is decreasing. And what is the cause of that? Because supply is not increasing. Supply is less and the demand is more. So the second important need for the new economic policy is to control inflation. Third important need was our foreign exchange reserves were very less due to low industrial production and low demand for our goods and due to less export. So it is very necessary for the government to raise the foreign exchange, to increase the foreign exchange reserves. Therefore, the government has introduced new economic policy 1991 to make changes. Now, fourth one is the inefficient industrial sector. As I already discussed that our public sector, industrial sector was mainly comprised of public sector and its production was very less. So the next important aim or the need of new economic policy is to increase efficiency of the industrial sector. Now fifth main need was to reduce unfavorable balance of payment. As we already studied in SYBCom, what is balance of payment? It is a record of government's revenue and expenditure. And when there is unfavorable balance of payment, when there is deficit in the balance of payment. And how we have to reduce the balance of payment, that was the next need of the new economic policy. And the last one is sixth need was the fall in growth rate. Because of all these above said 5 points, the growth rate was very less. And in order to raise the economic growth rate, foreign new economic policy was introduced in the year 1991. Now, students, we come to the objectives of new economic policy. So, in short, we can say what were the reasons, what are the need for new economic policy? There are 6 points. First one, fiscal deficit. Second one, inflation. Third, low foreign exchange reserves. Fourth, inefficient industrial sector. Fifth, unfavorable balance of payment. And sixth, fall in growth rate. Now we come to the objectives of new economic policy. The first one is to increase the economic growth rate. As we already discussed, when we control inflation, when we reduce deficit in the balance of payment, and when we increase the export of the goods, and we can increase the foreign exchange reserves, and by increasing the efficiency of the public sector, by reducing unfavorable balance of payment, automatically we can achieve the economic growth rate. Second objective is to increase efficiency of the public sector. So in order to increase efficiency of the public sector, the government has made so many changes by using modern types of methods of production. So that was the second objective, to increase efficiency of the public sector. Third objective is to reduce poverty. How we can reduce poverty? As economic growth if we achieve, then automatically the poverty will reduce. Fourth point, in order to reduce poverty, what we have to do? We have to increase the employment opportunities. Therefore, the fourth objective is to increase employment level. Fifth objective is to reform financial and agricultural sector. As you all know that agriculture sector play an important role, and we already studied that Indian economy is an agrarian economy. Agriculture is the primary sector in India. So first we have to reform the agriculture sector. Then normally the industrial sector also will develop. So that was the next objective, that reform financial and agricultural sector. Now the next one is to control inflation. How we can control inflation? By increasing, not controlling, but by increasing production of the commodities. Then only the supply will increase and the price will reduce automatically. Next one, to control fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit control, how we can control the deficit in the fiscal policy? By controlling the expenditure. Now next one is to improve balance of payment position. Balance of payment position, how we can improve? By controlling deficit and maintain balance in the balance of payment. Balance, how we can achieve? That revenue is equal to expenditure. In that situation, the balance of payment is in a balanced position. As we already studied what is balanced budget, unbalanced budget, what is unbalanced balance of payment and all, everything we studied in SYBCom. Next point is to increase participation of private individuals. As we studied, our Indian economy had given more importance to the public sector, and the public sector was inefficient. So the next question in front of the government was to encourage the private individuals to participate in the productive activities. So that was the next objective. So when there is private sector, we give more importance, the efficiency will automatically increase. Next one, to increase the demand for Indian goods. How we can increase the demand for Indian goods? By increasing the production, by using modern methods of production, and by increasing the export of commodities. Next point, to achieve economic stabilization. How we can achieve stabilization? By controlling inflation and deflation. When the economy is unstable, when there is inflation and deflation. So in order to achieve economic stabilization, what the government has to do? The government has to introduce efficient monetary policy and fiscal policy. So this was the last objective, that is to achieve economic stabilization. And one more objective is that to convert Indian economy into market economy. Market economy means where the price play an important role. Price determines, price is playing an important role in balancing demand and supply. And now these are the main objectives of new economic policy. In short, again I am reading. The first one, to increase the economic growth rate. Second, to increase efficiency of the public sector. Third, to reduce poverty. Fourth, to increase employment level. Fifth, to reform financial and agricultural sector. Next one, to control inflation. Next one, to control fiscal deficit, to improve balance of payment position, to increase participation of private individuals, to increase the demand of Indian goods, to achieve economic stabilization. Now, next one we are going to study, in the next lecture we are going to study features of new economic policy. Features of new economic policy. So all these things I taught you today, you have to note down all these points and all the syllabus, question paper model, everything. And as soon as we will come to the college, I am going to verify or I am going to correct your notebooks. So I want to see special notebook for the business economics SEM 5. Okay, students.